Easy guys, Pete from Roadblock TV, and we're back with our second update on John the MR2 whilst in lockdown. And yes, I'm still growing a lockdown beard. Now, today we're talking rusty side sills and skirts, finally, Greddy skirts. And progress has been made as well. And since the last video, if you've not spotted, we've actually been challenged to a build-off on YouTube as well by none other than Bluudy's garage with his MR2. So if you're not aware of his channel, I'll put him in the description and I'll come back to it a little bit later on. But needless to say, we will be accepting that build-off, but terms to be decided. So first things first, it's time for a DIY update from Matt.
Yes, so what's happening everyone? Another update with me. Not much has changed from last time, apart from a little bit of a beard trim. Still on the beards. Been doing a little bit around the house rather than on the cars, obviously because of what's going on. So we now have the old bombed out shed, but it now has the garage door fitted. So this is the one that fell on the scoop. Big improvement to what was there before. I haven't even had a chance to wash the car yet because for some reason it's like the Saharan desert keeps landing on it every night. So yeah, just been chilling, doing the usual stuff. So yeah, Pete, fancy a beer? There you go, bro.
I might leave that bit actually. Back once again with the sill being the first thing I had to look at. In order to fit those Greddy skirts and have a proper access to sand, realistically I needed to get the vents off. So, easy right? Wrong. Now in order to get these vents off, you have to take a small screw out next to the trim piece, followed by 2 bolts on the inside of the rear arch, and mine were rock solid rust, but luckily after lubing those bad boys up, we were back in the mix. On the passenger side, I actually had to get a cocktail blowtorch on the thing because it was so rusty. But fortunately I managed to wrestle it off, and then it was onto the inside. Now the interior is a bit of a nightmare, to be honest with you, because you've got to remove the 2 panels from behind the passenger and the driver's seat, and then you've got a few sneaky bolts in there, and one is a real bitch to get to. But one Amazon tube spanner down, and 2 days later we were off, we were good to go. Now MR2s are prone to rust. Behind the vents where it meets the sill, there's a little bit of foam that holds water, and that will just eat through the sill. So it's highly recommended if you have an MR2, take these panels off, and if the foam's not gone already, get rid of it. I was bracing myself. It did have the foam, so I had to get my hand down there. On the passenger side, I did need a bit of assistance because of these banana bunch hands. But when they came out, I was really hoping they wouldn't have any rust on them. That's rusty. Now that's really not what I wanted, to be honest with you, but after closer inspection it does appear to just be surface rust. I've given it a good tap and it doesn't appear to be too bad. Now don't forget this is a budget build, so if I can tidy that up without it being a structural problem, then we're good to go. So now that the vents were off, this gave me a good chance to actually see what we had to work with. Previous rust proofing and stripping all of that back. And how did I strip all of that back, you ask? Like this. By sanding on my back for hours like a with gradually increasing sandpaper. Luckily, once the first layer was off, I could get the orbital sander on it though, and it did really speed up the process. So once this was all sanded back to the metal and the Bondo, I fixed a small hole in the driver's side with a little bit of mesh and some filler. When it was dry, sanded it back, and obviously it's all going to be covered by the skirts anyway, but I'd rather tidy it up now whilst I got the chance. So they're far from perfect, it was still a bit bumpy, but it was better than it was. So once I got it smooth enough, I went back over both sills with some rust inhibiting primer. And to be honest with you, I'm really impressed with how these have turned out now, because not only have I got a solid sill, relatively smooth in one colour, but I'm also now rust proof again. So it's peace of mind knowing that I'm protected underneath these Greddys, and then I'm going to paint them black anyway, just to be a little bit tidier, and to go in more in keeping with the actual colour of the car, which has been decided. And the final step, finally, was to fit these Greddys. Now, luckily, they attach really easily to the existing holes in the body. So all I actually had to do was drill 2 holes in the top of the vent and then reattach it with the same original trim strip. There's some additional drill holes that need to go through the front arch, but I'll drill those closer to painting time. But all in all, it fits really well. Now, the driver's side does actually have a fitment issue in that the right front of the skirt sort of overlaps with the door. So whilst the door does open, it catches a little bit, so I'll need to take that back with a bit of sandpaper or something and just make it sit flush. But other than that, for a fiberglass kit, they look awesome. And a small adjustment, I'll absolutely take that. So I've had it on both sides. It really just transforms the look of the car. So absolutely over the moon with those. It's been a long time coming. Now, back at the start of the video, I mentioned that we've been challenged to a build-off by Bluudy's garage. 100% down for that, mate. We're going to do it. I'll set you a challenge straight away of a lap time, a track of your choosing, or a place that's logistically easy for us. I'll challenge you to whoever can get the fastest lap time in their rebuilt MR2. Now, there's going to be a whole series of challenges we can do here. We could probably do 3, 5. If you've got any ideas for various challenges that we can have, because we've virtually got the same car, please get in touch with either us or Bluudy on Instagram and just throw some ideas at us, because this is an open book. And to be fair, Bluudy as well, let's go on Instagram Live this week, mate. Let's have a chat about it and let's just throw some ideas out there. And that is your update for this week. I hope you'll agree there's some decent progress on John. Don't forget, we're not going for show sort of pristine. We're going for track budget weekend fun car. So I think we're getting there. If you've got any questions, thoughts, critiques, maybe not the critiques, drop us a message on either Instagram or in the comments. I do really appreciate reading through those, and it's nice to know people are watching. If you've not subbed yet, I'd really appreciate if you dropped us a sub as well, because it's just really motivating, to be honest with you. So in the meantime, I hope you're all taking it easy wherever you are. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next week. Cheers, guys.